Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and the 10-year anniversary countdown has begun. We got the post last night, and it basically sets up for the end of April, beginning of May anniversary. Now, a lot of people have reacted to the rewards here and to the check-in event, the login event, where, you know, we compare these things to last year and we look at what's different and we try to see how much better this anniversary is. And this anniversary has particular importance because it's the 10-year anniversary, and the devs have already signaled to us through dev notes, through live stream, like hints and clues and whatever, that this is going to be a much bigger anniversary. And understandably, it's 10 years, right? Yeah, so at big milestones, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you have to kind of go big or go home. So we are expecting big things. And so people's reaction is bad because these big things seem to be missing, and in fact, bigger things seem to be missing. So let's take a look at what we're actually getting here before we start to discuss what we're missing here. So we have our D21, which starts on the 7th or the 8th. So this is today, tomorrow. You get 2 selectors. Then, you know, you get Black Antimatter, Nornstone's Feathers, 100 Carbo, some more stuff, 5 million gold, some more stuff here, 100 Soul of the Faltine, an Emblem Chest, and then a couple of other stuff, and then Odin's Blessing, Mega Tier 2 ticket, and then a Transcendent Selector. Now, I'm not trying to say that these rewards are bad. Any free reward is good, obviously, and I'm glossing over a lot of the rewards, and I'm highlighting the bigger ones, but these are like actually quite useful rewards that can, you know, represent pretty big bumps in any player's account. Obviously, they're better for newer players or less advanced players, and they're not necessarily as useful for whales or like long-time veterans, but they're not bad. They're not bad. These rewards are not bad. But how do they compare, for example, to last year's rewards? Well, in fact, I do have that exact post. We have the 9-year anniversary Red Carpet Festival. And I know that people say, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. But at the same time, it's good to get some context and some, you know, clues, anyways, as to maybe what they're trying to do. So if we take a look here at the 9-year anniversary Red Carpet Festival countdown check-in, we can see that these rewards are all the same up to the Carbonadium. The Carbonadium here was 70 last year, and they've bumped it up to 100. Now, obviously, that's not like a big jump in numbers, but it does represent like a 30% increase, so it actually is. Anyways, it's a number. They did almost double the gold from 3 million to 5 million. Same selector, same essence, Mcron Crystals, Essence of Dimension. 70 Soul of the Faltine is now 100, so again, they bumped that up to, you know, 100. 4-star artifact, 300 crystals instead of an emblem chest. And then on D1, there's 600 crystals. And then the tier 3 selector. So the two big changes that people are noting is that, one, on D-Day, on the actual day of the update, of the anniversary, you know, should be starting, whatever. Instead of having the tier 3 selector, they have a potential transcendent selector. So they've swapped places this year. Not sure if that really matters or not, to be honest. They're going to give us a tier 3 selector through a check-in later anyways. Maybe they're just flip-flopping it so people don't feel like it's actually exactly the same as last year, right? Maybe it's just a small minor thing. But the bigger elephant in the room is the crystals. Where are the crystals? And everyone's going to lose their minds, right? Because 900 crystals are missing from the login. 600 here and 300 here. Also, I should note, they skipped a day. So it goes D3, D2, D1, D-Day. And here we go D3, D2, boom, D-Day. So we skip, there's technically one fewer reward in total. And one of those fewer rewards is the crystals, is you know, whatever, 300 or 600 crystals, take your pick. Now, last year I panicked in a different way. This is last year's video, where I panicked in a different way because of other crystals that were missing, believe it or not. So we've been here before, folks, and this is why I'm kind of trying to approach it differently this year. And I literally titled this video, 9-year anniversary is here, rip 800 crystals, question mark. So you're probably thinking to yourself, Alex, if they gave 900 crystals in the login, why were you saying rip 800 crystals? Well, up until this point, we had not seen the pre-registration crystals. And the pre-registration crystals were from the update from last year. So this is anniversaryception. So this is me on the 10th year anniversary countdown check-in, looking at 9-year Alex at the countdown check-in, looking at 8-year Alex at the 9-year check-in. So this was the blue one you're seeing here was the 8-year check-in. And then this is the 9-year check-in, and this is the 10-year check-in. Yeah, it gets really weird. But I'm not talking about the check-in. I'm talking about the pre-registration. A lot of people forget, well, and a lot of people remember. There was, for the 8-year anniversary, they started, I think for the first time, they started this really good pre-registration event where you get 800 crystals and a tier 2 selector and 5 million gold. So this was like pretty, this is like this is a whole uniform. This is no joke. This is a whole uniform. 5 million gold is nothing to sneeze at. This was quite nice. This was quite nice. And they hadn't done it up until that point last year. Long story short, guys, big spoiler alert, they ended up doing it. Dun, da, da, da. It ended up happening anyways. So we got our 800 crystals and we got our 900 crystals from the check-in. So that is, 1,700 crystals that we got. As of right now, we're minus 1,700 crystals. We're in the hole 1,700 crystals. And again, that's a pretty big number. That's 2 free uniforms during the anniversary or during Black Friday sales. It's not a small amount of crystals, right? So what do I think's going on? I think they're going to do something else, genuinely. I hate to sound like a Netmarble employee, a Netmarble MFF glazer, but there's really no reason to sound the alarm bells right now. There's really no reason other than like clickbait or whatever to say like, oh, the game's dying. This is the proof. They're taking away all the, like, listen, I could sit here and frame it that way, right? Just to show you guys, I could sit here and frame it that way. And listen, sometimes I do feel more negative about the game, and I do kind of choose to frame things more negatively. And your life is just a series of events where you choose to frame what happens to you in a negative or positive ways. Unfortunately, it's really that simple, and we don't have much control over our lives. But anyways, that's a whole other way too far out there topic. Listen, I could sit here and frame it in a negative way. And I could say, guys, 900 crystals gone here. There's no logit. There's no pre-registration event. They're just trying to milk the whales dry before they shut this game down in 6 months, right after Black Friday. And then poof, by this time next year, there won't be Marvel Future Fight. And you know what? I could make that argument sound pretty good. Unfortunately, I could. But it doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it has any weight to it. Right? I don't have any proof. I don't have any evidence other than this misattributed feeling that the crystals are gone. Yeah, I mean, yes, the crystals are gone, but they're not gone. They're just probably in another event, right? Now, it's a different story if we get to the end of May, the end of June, whenever the hell this anniversary ends, because we're so delayed, backed up on update cycles, right? If we get to the end of May, end of June, and there was no 900 crystals from logins, there was no pre-registration event, then we can say, okay, hang on, something's wrong, something's different. And again, in particular, I will say in particular for the 10-year anniversary, it would be a huge mistake. Oh, Michael, I've made a huge mistake. It would be a huge mistake for them to do that, right? And I'm not gonna, baby them too much. I think they're smart enough to know that. Anyways, we hope the devs are smart enough to know that taking away almost 2,000 crystals from players on the supposed huge 10-year anniversary is a bad idea, right? So again, hopefully that's what's happening. That's not what's happening, right? Hopefully that's not what's happening, and they're going to give us the crystals through some other means, right? They may not actually give us any crystals. They may just give everyone like 3 free uniform tickets, for example. And that's technically worth more than 2,000 crystals. Now, not everyone's going to like that necessarily. I will sort of put that out there up front, because 2,000 crystals can also represent almost half, or well, more like a third of the crystals that you need for an Epic Quest Deluxe pack. I know you get some crystals. I was thinking about with the refund. With the refund, it's close to half the crystals, right? But up front, it's more like a third. But or it's all of a legendary battle. It's most of the way to getting Franklin and his dumbass. So yeah, I do think the crystals are better. I do think the crystals are more flexible. I do think the devs should give us the crystals. I think maybe what they're doing is, if I had to guess, what they're doing is they're going to give us a large lump sum of crystals. This is what I think they're going to do as like a huge, like big event, like or whatever. Like they'll do like a crystal login. So like every day you log in, 100 crystals, 200 crystals, 300 crystals, 400 crystals, 500 crystals, 1,000 crystals, and then boom. And anyways, when you add all those numbers up, it'll be like over 2,000 crystals, right? Maybe they're doing something like that. Anyways, I don't think it's time to panic. However, if I did have to comment, well, I am commenting on this login event. I still think it's kind of lame. I know that it's just the pre, like this is the preamble to the anniversary, and I don't want to make the mistake that I make a lot of years where I like really shit on this and really get upset, because we know that there's going to be way better logins once the 10th anniversary starts. There's like a tier 2 premium, there's like a tier 2 or 6-star premium character selector login or shield archive event, or whatever you want to call it, crafting event. There's going to be like a, you know, free tier 3 selector, free transcendent selector, maybe a free tier 4 selector, possibly, who knows, tier 4 discount perhaps. You know, there's going to be tons of logins. There's going to be a P card login, CTP logins, all this kind of stuff. They give away tons of stuff once the anniversary actually kicks off, right? This is just the warm up. This is the foreplay, so to speak. So yeah, I'm not gonna freak out here. Again, could it be better? Yeah, it could be. But hopefully, fingers crossed, instead of making this better, they are saving all of that juice for the anniversary. So then there's a huge, you know, surplus of juice, and we have a huge juicy juice party kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of my take. I know it's boring. I know it's middle of the road, fence sitting, not too sweet, not too sour. But yeah, that's kind of my take. So for everybody panicking out there, that's fine. You can hit me up in the comments down below. Hit me up on Discord, Twitter. Let me know what you think. It'll be interesting to see who's available from the Transcendent Selector, although I don't think we have a lot of good new additions to it. But maybe like if Man-Thing's in there or something. But we'll have to wait and see. Anywho, guys, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the 10-year, 9-year comparison at check-in, whatever, pre-update, pre-anything. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.